Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video. So in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing my opinion on why I think the Packers should re-sign Kenny Clark after this 2020 season. But if you guys are new here, my name is Luke Bella. I'm a huge Packers fan, so I post videos about the Packers and other NFL teams as well. So if you're interested in that kind of content, feel free to subscribe down below. So let's take a look at this Kenny Clark situation. So when we take a look at this situation, I think there are a few important factors that we sort of need to take a look at. And that is, of course, how well has Kenny Clark played in his past few years, the specific needs of the Packers defense, and the salary cap that the Packers have to deal with after this 2020 season. So if we look at the Packers defense, all of us Packers fans know that last year our rush defense was not the best. We ranked 23rd in rush yards against us, and especially in that NFC Championship game, that was one of our biggest problems, one of our biggest weaknesses. So especially this season, the Packers really need to focus on improving in that area, and hopefully we can. But one sort of scary thing to imagine is if our defense didn't have Kenny Clark last year, because with Kenny Clark, our defense was 23rd against the rush. And if you sort of look at some of Kenny Clark's stats, he put up some pretty solid numbers, not just for the Packers, but for the NFL in general. So, to imagine the Packers without him, we could have had one of the absolute worst rush defenses in the NFL. So if we look at some of his 2019 stats, especially if we look at his sort of third down pressuring on the quarterback, here's some of his stats. So he's one of only 3 players in the NFL to finish in the top 5 for third down pressures and third down pressure rates, and the only 2 guys ahead of him are Aaron Donald and Justin Houston. So obviously he's good at getting pressure at the quarterback from that defensive line position, and he was a big factor in the Packers' success in that area in 2019. In 2019, he had one of his best years. He tied his career high for sacks. He also had 7 QB hits and a career best 62 tackles. And here's an interesting statistic about his ability to stop the run. So if you look at Pro Football Focus, which sort of has stats about all these.
Hey, no.
So if we look at Kenny Clark's statistics against the run, it's pretty impressive. So Pro Football Focus, which measures lots of advanced statistics for the NFL, they came up with this stat. So 4 players that played 50% or more of their team snaps, Kenny Clark had 31 run stops, which was the second most in the NFL, and he was 6th in the pass rush productivity. So obviously Kenny Clark is not the problem on this Packers rushing defense, and he was a big crucial part in basically keeping us where we were. And as I said before, if we didn't have him, we probably would have been much worse. So I think it's very important that the Packers sort of work on the guy beside Kenny Clark and some of the other areas to improve our rushing defense, because obviously Kenny Clark is not the problem. So if we look at sort of some players that are going to be free agents after this 2020 season for the Packers, there's a good amount of them, so the Packers are probably not going to be able to sign every single one of them. So with the cap space that they have, they're going to have to decide who they want to keep and who's the most important if they want to spend big money on certain players. So here's sort of the 5 biggest free agents after the 2020 season. We have Kevin King, David Bakhtiari, Aaron Jones, Corey Linsley, and Kenny Clark. So all of these guys are obviously good players and important parts of this Packers team. So one reason I think we need to sign Kenny Clark is, first, of course, is that he's still really young. He's only 24 years old, so he's probably entering the prime of his career. And so I think that it would be very beneficial to the Packers to secure this defensive lineman for the future, and I think that he would be a solid piece sort of to stay on this Packers team. He knows the defense well, he's playing well, he's probably just going to continue to improve at his age. That's my belief. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. And in this offseason, Gutekunst has actually said that he intends to sign him, so hopefully Kenny Clark can be signed. Maybe it'll be soon, maybe it'll be before this 2020 season. I personally hope so. But it is definitely going to be interesting to see who the Packers have to let go of after this season. It's never easy to see some players that you watch for a few years have to finally leave. But that's just a sad reality, that this is a business at the end of the day, and you can't keep every good player, because when players are on their cheaper contracts, you're able to, sort of surround them with other talent. But after that contract expires, that cheaper contract expires, you're not able to sign all these guys to big, massive deals like they sort of deserve. And that's why, lots of times players end up going to other teams. So hopefully the Packers can keep the guys that they think are crucial for their team in the future. I hope that Kenny Clark is one of those guys. We will see soon in the next coming year what actually happens with the situation. But feel free to let me know your thoughts below about whether you think we should sign him, or if not, sort of what you think about that situation. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like it down below. I'm also going to put my personal social medias down below, so if you want to follow me there, feel free to do that as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys on my next one.